There we go.
Is there a USB for the screen out there?
An HDMI cable?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay, so and it's the one that opens up, like it's the one on your phone. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna here.
No, it's in there.
Okay, I want everybody to. This is my son's Lego.
Where's the kid Lego?
Huh?
Where's the kid Lego?
It got donated.
Oh.
Arlo commandeered it.
Okay.
Arlo. One day he came in with me and he's like,
It's a Beyblade.
here's your
Yeah. It's a Beyblade. My son has those too.
So any other shit on Lego, so I just brought it in.
All right. Hopefully this works. Close. Do I have anybody watching? Not yet. Okay, well, I'll hang out here to see if anybody joins. That was a bit of a flub. 10 minutes late. It's okay. You're working together on a prototype. So we're live streaming to 2 people for orientation week here, everybody.
Hey, 2 people.
Live from.
Hi.
Welcome to
Yeah.
the Community Impact Lab.
What's up, homies?
There we go. Amazing. I'm going to start down at the bottom. We're only going streaming for a little bit here. Technical difficulties getting rolling. We'll start you right at the very beginning of the lab and you can enjoy. We got lots of hustle and bustle here today. We got our amazing photo shoot happening, trying to capture people using and leveraging all the awesome tools we have. I'll take you right downstairs. And yes, I am vlogging / working from my laptop because in order to do a mobile live stream, you need 1,000 subscribers or followers. And we're not just there yet. So let's start right outside. So you kind of, I'll do it this way. So my name is Adam and I am the multimedia coordinator for the Center for Changemaking and Social Innovation, broadcasting today live from the Aurelia campus. Here is our flagship Community Impact Lab. This is going to be one of 7 lab spaces that will be set up across the Georgian campuses. Every campus will eventually have its own version of this space. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick tour today to show you some of the cool tech tools and resources that are available to you. If there's anything that you're interested in getting involved in change making or connecting with the center, anything change making is entirely free. Change making is baked into the strategic plan and everything Georgian. So you might actually hear the word change making or that type of stuff in your regular course that you're taking. Part of our goal here at the center is to help everyone to identify themselves as change makers, what that means to you, and how that connects to what you're already taking at school. So you can seek out additional tools and resources to help make that change happen. There's gonna be lots of acronyms. Lots of the word change being mentioned around here, but ultimately it all starts here at the Community Impact Lab. So I'm going to take you inside. I'm going to do it backwards here. All right, so our first stop on the tour is to meet our amazing change-making mascot, Charlie. So Charlie's a bit of the mascot for change-making at Georgian. You may know already that Growler is the Georgian College's mascot. So he is the bear logo icon. So this is Charlie. This is Growler's renegade cousin who has gone on many adventures, and he's come back bringing this idea of change-making to Georgian. I can read his little story here if you want. My name is Charlie, and I am Growler's cousin and a symbol of change-making at Georgian. Oh, I just said all that stuff. I hope you will join me on this epic change-making adventure where we can discover how to make positive change on this world, meet like-minded individuals, and acquire the tools and resources to make that change happen. A lot of the stuff that I already said. So there you go. So that's Charlie. You'll probably see, and most often than not, can I get a shot of this? Is that symbol there? Is that orange bear logo with the helmet? When we're just getting there now, but back before COVID days, so Charlie exists as stickers and all sorts of things. It was a symbol that change is happening and that you're involved in change making, part of an initiative, that you want to see positive change. So that we had those, so you'd see those stickers on people's laptops and lockers and phone cases and stuff like that, so you could identify other change makers around you. So also out of the center and out of this particular lab space, you can, you'll see these amazing badges down here. These are the change maker competencies that tie into the change maker micro certificate. Remember, I said you're going to hear the word change a whole lot. So you might hear the word micro certificate as you're getting familiar with Georgian. So this is a way to earn the change maker micro certificate, which is made up of 4 pieces: empathy, teamwork, leadership, and change making in action. So you can come in and work on that stuff here and help yourself get those additional credentials that you'll need. That's going to make you that much more employable when you get out into the workforce. So if you can prove to an employer that you actually took some additional learning and can practice something like empathy, these 21st century soft skills, that's going to make you that much more attractive to potential employers. Down here, these are all what we call change maker pathways. So this is part of the initiative to help you identify what type of change maker you want to be. So we've worked hard over the last couple of years to really identify these kind of 10 entry points into change making and change making at Georgian. So you've landed at Georgian, you're maybe trying to figure out what it is you want to do with change making. It sounds interesting and a little bit cool, but you don't know where to start. So ultimately, the change maker pathways are a way to do that. I'll read them here for you now. I can also send you some, I'll probably include like some links and stuff after. I can't type while I'm doing this, but you'll get the idea. So ultimately, volunteer, researcher, policymaker, champion, social innovator, social entrepreneur, funder and investor, intrapreneur, activist, and empathizer. So those are all big words. Some of them I don't fully understand myself. But ultimately, as you explore the changemaker pathways, so there's lots of information. There's even a cool quiz that we created that helps you identify what type of changemaker you want to be. You can read up on those. Those are kind of entry points. You're like, oh yeah, I really like change making, and I like the idea of being a social entrepreneur. So then you can start to pursue information and things pertinent to that type of change making. So workshops and seminars and engagements that are happening like that. So part of the other great piece of the Community Impact Lab is that we've worked very hard to help bridge what we call the digital analog gap. So as we are on again, off again with COVID, we're excited to have some students back in the space, but ultimately we tried to design everything that you can do inside the lab to work both ways, virtually and analog. So you can come in, work with your team on one of the canvases or work on a tool inside one of the rooms, jam on a whiteboard, try to solve all the world's problems, but then you can actually take that work with you. So we use that during the power of, where are we going? It's super hard to do this. I'll show you one of the rooms, but we call them rocket corners. So basically you're able to scan your work, bring it with you, and continue to collaborate virtually using one of the many online collaboration spaces. Or perhaps maybe 2 of your teammates are dialing in from a different geographic location. Only 2 of you can make it into the lab. You have the ability to work virtually and analog as well. So next up on the tour is going to be the VR lab space. So this is Georgian Aurelia campus's actually only designated lab space for virtual reality. We've kind of outlined a couple of different engagements that help you practice and try out some of these soft skills like I'd mentioned. We have an empathy simulator. We've got a cool meditation and nature trek type thing as well. And then we have some other engagements that you can figure out to work out some of your stresses and just maybe relax a little bit after doing some crazy brainstorming. We've also been working hard to push this idea of a culture of prototyping. So not only but pushing into the next world. You can go full Tony Stark with it. So ultimately, if you had an idea or a concept about an object or something like that, or maybe some accessibility pieces, we can scan in a space, and then you can actually bring that space, using VR, put on a headset, borrow one of the headsets from our lending library. You can actually collaborate and build with your team virtually, working in VR space to sketch and prototype in a virtual reality space, which is pretty cool. So all these tools are available. Looks a little chaotic and a little messy right now. We've got some more students coming in for our photo shoot. That's amazing. So yeah, it is quite busy in here today. So this across the hallway, we were just doing our headshots today, but this is the Reflect room. Whoa. So Reflect is in a very important part. It's actually at the very end of the design thinking process. So after you've prototyped you've done your empathy, you've journey mapped, you're trying to figure out all that stuff, trying to solve your problem. You have the ability to sit and reflect about what worked and what didn't work. So that part. So I'm actually going to go upstairs and then come back through because this will make a whole lot more sense when if I start with the process. So it's getting pretty busy in here now. Oh, we got 16 viewers and 1 thumbs up. So we're doing okay.
What are you doing, Adam? Like you peeling them off?
No, this is high engagement. 15 people watching.
great.
I know, right?
Welcome to the lab, everybody.
Yeah. So I'll share actually right above Irina here. When I talk about the human-centered design thinking process, this is what each one of the rooms in the lab space correlates to. So this is the process, one of the frameworks in which you can solve your problems or work with your team through to come up with solutions to whatever it is that you're working on. So I'm going to start upstairs here. Come with me. Yes, so the Really campus, we have the luxury of having a designated room for each one of these steps: ideate, prototype, empathize. The trick with this process and setting up this network of lab spaces is how do you take something like the Aurelia flagship space that has a different room for all these tools and condense that into a single room. So a lot of the other campuses, actually all the other campuses, we have very minimal space. So how do we condense this so that these same tools and resources can be accessed? So that's part of what we've been doing as well. So we'll start right here. So one of the very first stages that you want to do when you're working through a problem is define the problem. So these are some small rooms that have a very specific purpose. So we have different different canvases that we use to start working through these tools. So you'd come in with your team and actually use some of these whiteboards and tools. All these tools can be swapped out. You can see those orange corners there. That was the Rocketbook corners that I had mentioned earlier on the video there. So that's the ability. So if you had a bunch of sticky notes and worked on this, you could scan that in, take that work with you. So you could keep working with your team after you've finished your time in the lab. Always lots of whiteboards, lots of sticky notes. So yes, and then we have one of our amazing, our Iceberg Model, which is an amazing tool to help you really dig in there and define what it is the problem is you're trying to solve. So across the hallway is actually Mike Zucchino, who's we're live streaming. We got 16 viewers here for orientation week, Mike, giving them a live tour of so yes, when the rooms aren't being leveraged for problem solving all the world's issues, they can be hotspotted and hoteled for doing other work. So Mike is hanging out right now in the empathize room. So again, yeah, he's empathizing that he's got work to do. Ultimately, so another set of canvases and tools. Each room could potentially also have all of these tools in one. So it's not like each room would necessarily have to have a specific role. We have the flexibility that all of these canvases that you see, empathize, journey mapping, all that stuff could happen in a single space. So again, just really leveraging this digital analog gap. So those are the first 2 stages of the process. We've got a few minutes left. I'm going to go down here. All right, let's get a quick little scan of
They want to play Lego?
Ideate. So this is one of the bigger spaces. So Ideate and Prototype kind of share a space. So we have another room out there that we have the ability to plug in, and you can actually present and have your stuff up on the wall. But can you imagine a workflow where we have access to 3D printers and rapid prototyping? So like I mentioned earlier on in the video, if say you had an idea for a better handle for your coffee cup, or you're tired of being burned by the lid on your travel mug, we could really simply, using the tools we have in the lab, scan in that coffee mug. You could bring it into, say, a VR space, or throw it up in a virtual collaboration space, or even just have the picture up on the whiteboard. You could sketch and draw and work with your team through that process. And then you'd have the ability to spit out, you could spit out an actual tactile model, or use some of our other prototyping resources. We have lots of cool fabrication stuff that you could actually make a tactile prototype out of. Not every problem you're solving is going to result in a physical prototype. I understand that. Sometimes you're redesigning systems or thought processes. So there's other tools that we have available as well, but just showing that we have a little bit of Fab Lab type of tools available to us here as well. So there's some more rocket corners, another cool canvas and tool. All this stuff can be, where is, oh, I'll go down here. Chicka, 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 chicka. All of these things can be accessed again in the lab, talking about one of the other cool tools. And you've probably seen one of these on campus if you've been there, or you're familiar with a link tree. So we're leveraging technology called a flow code. Very similar concept. So each one of the rooms has a flow code in it. And what you can do if you wanted to, say you were working on that empathy map up there in that room, you've been jamming out on the whiteboard with your teammates, you've scanned it, you've sent it off into the cloud, and you're bringing that down into like another something web-based, like a mural or a Jamboard, to continue to collaborate virtually. You can download all those canvases, all the PDFs of those blank canvases, and use them yourself. So we're making those tools open resource and building up our repository of tools and resources. So if you're really interested in running like an empathy workshop, very cool. Asia, I want one of those awesome human shirts. No problem. Yeah, we all have them on for our photo shoot today. We're loving it. So yeah, so flow codes, accessing those digital tools and resources, creating that open source, that open sourceness to continue to work wherever you are with whatever you're working on, and trying to make all those tools accessible. So you can come in with your team, you can connect with community members. There's always somebody in the lab that can help you work and use these tools. Or if you're interested in pursuing your own workshop or creating something like that, we can also help you and connect you with those tools and resources to do that. We have, it's a lot to talk for super long. But yeah, so those are some of the awesome stuff that we have going on. I'll sit down for a second. If there's anybody who has any questions in the chat, I do realize when we do a YouTube live stream that you have to have a YouTube account in order to participate. So I will figure out a better platform in which to create more accessibility for a broader audience. But I'm going to put this right down. So in essence, this is the Community Impact Lab. We have virtual reality. We have the Changemaker micro certificate up here. We have the heartbeat of the center is the human-centered design thinking process, and we can set you up with all sorts of crazy tools. If you're interested at all, and obviously I've said a lot of crazy acronyms and change-making terms, I would seek out the change-making page through the Georgian webpage, as well as getting involved in what we call Charlie and Company, which is our closed social network for change-making and Georgian College. So basically you land in there, create a profile, and it's this growing community that's actually thriving quite well. We have 700 people in there right now. These are all people who are interested in change making. We post all our events. You can be connected with guides and tools and mentors to help solve your problem. So ultimately, if you have an idea, you don't know where to go with it, and you have a project that you're working on, and you just want to start somewhere, reach out to the center. That's the best place to go. No questions here. Just wanted to say hi. Space is amazing. Oh, thank you very much. There he is, Mariana. Yeah, we miss you in the lab today, Maria. Will made it. I know you're busy. You got lots of stuff cooking today too. Very cool. So yeah, lots of neat stuff available to everybody. Like we said, change making is open to everybody. And if you're curious about getting involved or just want to see what's up or have a question, by all means, like I said, connect to us. I'll put a few links in here, CCSI at Georgian. That's our general inbox. That's the best place to start. And you can also join Charlie & Co. Actually, I should grab that link as well while I have you guys for another minute here. So just bear with me and I'll pull that link up. So these are some cool links that will help you kind of just as a takeaway from this. I realize it's a lot of information coming at you. I'm just going to pop this up. Quick links, Charlie & Co. There we go. Let's paste that in there. Oops, Charlie & Co. Copy link. Love it. Love it. There we go. This is great. I love it. Cool. So hopefully, so that's an invite link to join the Charlie & Co network. So again, this is George in college. Well, it's a mixture of everyone, George, but it's a closed change-making network that we have set up. So we're starting to get different groups and different things running through there. So this is a great place to start to fill out your profile and connect with other change makers. We do our change maker in residency week every semester as well. So there's always great events and they're posted in there. So if you want to check that out, and I can post something else in here as well. If you do the onboarding piece of the Charlie & Co, it's amazing. So you have the ability to create your own changemaker avatar. I'll give you the link to the virtual tour of the lab we just took. So if you have an Oculus headset or you're just on your phone, you can actually walk through the tour in 3D space as well. Yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. You got 1 minute left. I will definitely leave the stream going. I know we had a bit of a late start. Tell the folks what change making is. Absolutely. Thanks for the curveball. Change making is actually a bit of a challenge because it's not just a thing that can be defined. Change making is ultimately creating change and movement. So it's more of like a bunch of stuff together. It's a change maker is someone who seeks out the tools and resources to make a change happen. So that change can be something small and simple. It could, like I said, like maybe designing a new handle for your coffee cup, or you have an idea for a better way to take out books from the library or something like that, a simple process like that. Or it can be something much more complex that's attached to other ideas. So a messy problem, something like changing like systems thinking or larger processes that are connected to other things. A lot of what we work on and focus on is the SDGs, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So these are all tied. These are 17 goals set out by the United Nations as a planet. We've come together to choose and identify these 17 things that if we all worked on them in some capacity, that we would make the world a better place. It's all about sustainability, accessibility, all those amazing things that affect everybody, no matter where you are and where you're coming from. So focusing on the SDGs. So that's my long-winded response to what change making is. I think it's a very individual thing as well. It's not just a hard and fast answer. Often people like the idea, the buzzword of change making, but it's not a clear-cut answer for that. So it really depends on what the change is that you're trying to make and what that means to you. Ultimately, we want everyone to see themselves as change makers, and again, to know that you're here to have a safe space to fail forward, to learn those tools and resources. And often in order to make change, things have to be broken apart. And that's the space that we try to create in these labs, is give you the tools and resources and people to break those things apart and then put them back together and see what that might look like. So often people are scared to even take that first step to break something in order to fix it, especially some of these larger complex things that are attached to other stuff. So I shared a couple links in there. Yeah, I highly encourage you, if you are remotely interested in change making or anything we have going on, sign up for Charlie & Co. You'll be able to create your own change maker avatar, get into the network, and you'll have your finger on the pulse of everything going on change making. You can visit the lab space. I'm here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Aurelia on Aurelia campus. I know that's a bit of a stretch for some people, but we do have A216 in Barrie that we're getting set up as well. So it's a slow rollout of having these spaces, these touch points where if anybody's interested, they can come in and check it out and get those questions answered. Something we've been working really hard towards lately. So there we go, 1232, 12 viewers. Thanks everybody who tuned in. I know it was a bit of a tech hurdle there, and I haven't done a live stream in a while, but hopefully I answered a few of your questions. And I'll try to put together maybe a bit of a quick links package that you can access after if there's something else that you wanted to explore. So thank you very much. And I'm going to wind the stream down unless there's anybody else who has a question. All right, 12. Cool. Well, I appreciate everybody. And then, yeah, if you want to reach out to me, thanks for all the cheerleading, Marianne. That's awesome. She's part of our team. So I appreciate having somebody on the other side of this portal. And the YouTube live is kind of weird because it's a one-sided conversation. So I'm just talking to myself here very fast and furiously. But at the so hopefully you're a little bit I just got a text from my wife that said our 1-year-old son just said thank you. So those are his first words. So very empathetic kid. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna hop off. You can also email me. Actually, I'll throw that in there as well. Adam.dagenet at georg.ca. Perfect. There you go. Thanks for the tour. I'm glad you stuck around. Yeah, I'm excited to get people in here to use these tools and to use these spaces that we've been working on. Bring your problems to us, and we will help connect you to get them going. I love it. All right. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.